Hello everyone and welcome to Callsign Charlie Models. It is time for another inbox review. And we're starting this one off a little bit different because this kit doesn't actually come with a box. This kit is the 148 P-3C Orion and it comes from a company called One Man Model. It's a literally a one-man shop right here. Toshihiko Shimizu. I'm hoping I pronounced his name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. But again, this is a one-man shop, so he does all the printing and design on his own. The parts are printed by ABS and HIPS filament, so there is a little bit of a rough texture to it. It's not the typical 3D resin vat type of printing, but it is workable to get done. So we're going to start off with the instructions. The kits also do not come with any paper instructions. You go onto the website and you download the instructions right here. And as you can see, we're just going to go through everything. We have the different parts. We're working on the wings right here. And then we're going to be continuing to work on the wings and then also the tail section right there. Let me see if I can get you in a little bit more. Alright, and then this kit does have a full interior for the P3. So we have the galley, the observer area, the exit, sensor 1 and 2, which is the acoustic observers or acoustic operators, the AWs right there. And then we have sensor 3, which is the non-acoustic, so they operate the radar, the mad boom, and all of that. Then we have the TACO, the tactical coordinator, and then the NavCom, and then we have our flight deck up here. So we're also working on the front instrument panel and the side consoles right there, getting all those parts on. It looks like it's going to be a good starting point. Now, if you want to go super detailed on all this, you do have the ability to do that with a little bit of scratch building. But we're going to move on, and then we're working on the lower deck with the bomb bay and the nose landing gear well. And you can see all the detail parts that are included on the interior right here with the sensor 1 and 2 station and all those parts right there. And I'm not sure what the R8, I'm not sure if those are decals that are supposed to go there or what's going on. So we'll have to see when we actually start building the kit. We'll get more in depth on the instructions right here, but it does have a nice bomb bay included in this kit as well. Alright, after that we're working on our galley, our head back in the back, the sonobuoy area back here, and then a few other parts going on with the TACO and the NavCom station, and then also our seats going together right there as well. Alright, so then we have our decks. We're getting all that all together. It looks like it's going to be nicely detailed for the kit with a full interior on that. And then we're working on the forward nose section. We're getting our overhead panel right there, and then we have a couple other parts. Again, I'm not sure what the blue boxes mean, but we'll have to check that out later when we start building this kit. Then we're also adding some parts onto the exterior of the nose section as well. Alright, then we're adding in a few parts right here. It just shows you how to add in all the interior parts into the fuselage shafts right here. Then we can also remove the aft door right here to have that open as well. Alright, and then it shows you more of the interior detail going on right there. Continue on with interior detail. We do have the ladder right here, the boarding ladder as well going on, adding in more parts, showing you how all that looks. And then we're going to get the fuselage halves together right there. It is going to be a good amount of sanding, so if you want a kit that's just going to fall apart or fall together, this one is not the kit for you. Alright, so after that we are getting our wings attached right here. And then starting to work on our landing gear. All the landing gear doors, all that. And then we're getting, it shows you how everything is supposed to be lined up. And then a side profile of how the aircraft is supposed to sit on the ground. Then we also do have the option, I believe, of having the closed position for our landing gear doors as well. Alright, and then we also have the boarding ladder in the closed or extended, and it does come with a harpoon missile and some Mark 62 bombs. I'm sure those are supposed to be Mark 82s with the snake eyes, but we'll have to see. And then Mark 46 torpedo, And our bomb bay going all together right there. We do have the option of having it in the open or closed position right there. And then we're getting on all our pylons onto the wings, and then a few of the antenna and such going on, and then also our propeller going together as well. Then our mad boom and a few other antenna and all that going onto the fuselage. And then it shows us our decal placements for the, so I guess the blues are our decal placements for this. Alright, continue on our top profile, and then that's it for the instructions. Now, the kit, when it comes, like I said, this is just a one-man shop, so he does everything on his own, and it comes like a box like this. It is packed a lot better when it doesn't come with the Edward harpoons, but it does come packed better than this. I have gone through this a few times just to check it out, and now we're actually going to pull everything out and take a look at everything. So give me 1 second, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to start off just moving along. You can see we have a bunch of different parts in here, just all around. One thing is, when you're unpacking this model, do not throw away any newspaper until you know for a fact that it is empty newspaper. So we're going to start off with the flight deck, and we know that this is the ABS plastic, the filament type plastic, so it's going to be a lot of grooves and everything on here. And honestly, in 1/48 scale, it's not that bad. It's going to take a little bit of sanding to get that smoothed out, but I mean, it does look pretty decent. Just a light sand over everything, and you should be good to go. And there are some locator holes for some of the pieces right here. On the underside, not really worried about it because you're not going to see it. And then we have the forward section right here. Again, same thing with the 3D printing on that. And then on the bulkhead, again, gonna need to do, you can feel or you can hear how it is right there. But again, just a little bit of sanding, and we should be able to get that good to go. Alright, so up next we have a bag that has a few different parts in it. We have another piece of our rear deck right here. This one's going to take a little bit of cleanup along the edges. I'm not sure what this is because we do have a fail print right here as well, and along the side. I'm not sure if this is a test piece or not. Then we get some sandpaper included in this kit, so he does know that we are going to need to do a lot of sanding, so he even includes a good amount of sanding in here with different counts. So we got 400 count, and we have a 240 count or 220 count sandpaper right there, so that's nice to have that included in the kit. You also get a thing of all of our dowels and all the wire and everything that we're going to need for this kit as well. Okay, now we have our fuselage sections right here. So we do have some very nice panel lines in here. The issue is with the 3D print lines, but like I said, a little bit of sanding, which the sandpaper is included in this, so that is a nice addition. A little bit of sanding and a little bit of putty, and you'll be able to get this looking really nice and smooth. So again, just a little bit of extra work. It's gonna really make the finished product worth it when you actually have to put in a lot of time and work into it. Really makes the end, for me, the end product just more satisfying on that. Then on the inside, we do have a good amount of detail, like molded in or printed into this. And again, just the 3D printing will have to be taken care of on that. And then on the other side, again, right here, and then we just have this little part right here to cut out if we're gonna have the aft door open. And then we get the two fuselage halves sides together. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of cleanup and everything to get this together on here, just like so. But it is doable. Again, a little bit of cleanup, like just clean up right along here. And along here we do have some bumps that will cause some issues. But once you get those cleaned up, you should be all good to go on that. So, and even in 1/48 scale, this thing is massive. Like I said, this is just a tail section of the fuselage right here, and it is measuring at about 12 inches for the length of just this section right here, and we still have the nose section and the tail section to go onto it. The other thing about one man model is, yes, this kit is 1/48, but you can also get it in 1/72. You can get it in 1/32 as well, and I believe he does 1/44 also. And I'm thinking that the smaller you go, the finer these print lines will be, so those won't be as big of an issue. But the larger you go, I think it's going to be a bigger issue the larger you go. So I think 1/48 is probably, unless you are dealing with space constraints, I think 1/48 is really the way to go on this kit. Alright, and then we have the other fuselage section right here. Again, we do have some nice panel lines right here, but with the 3D print lines, you're just going to have to sand that down. And with how deep the actual panel lines are in this, you shouldn't have to really worry about losing any of that panel detail, because you're just going to have to do a light sand over everything and some putty in some areas, but again, looking very nice. And then you look at it when it's all together, like so, and we're going to have to put some locator pins, which they do even have the points for right here, to help with the assembly. But you do have the option of having this section left off, so that way you can actually see the interior of the kit when you get it all done. So that is a nice touch on that. Alright, so now we have our wings right here, and the same thing with the rest of the fuselage with the detail, nice panel line detail. Even in the flap wells, we do have some nice detail in there. If you want to go super detailed, get your references and you can add some plumbing and everything into there, which I will probably do. The same with the landing gear bay as well. And then we get two of these wings. These are the intersection of the wings right here. And then we have our engines right here mounted on, printed in a different resin. But let's see how this looks when it is all. Again, I mean, the fit on it is actually, for just a rough fit on here, is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of filler and sander, but I mean, actually, it's pretty good, pretty spot on to lining up with everything right here. So I'm really happy with that. But like with the 3D print lines, shouldn't really be a huge issue on that. Alright, so now we're moving on to our flaps. Same thing with before. This piece is actually a lot rougher than the other ones, like with the fuselage section right here. So this one is definitely going to take a lot of sanding to get smoothed out. But again, we even have the starts for our flap channels right there. We get two of those. Then we have this bag of 3D printed parts right here. I think these are our seat brackets, or maybe the bomb brackets for our bomb bay, which actually do look very nice for starting out points. Definitely going to be adding in some cable detail to that. Also, all of our antennas going on right in here. Alright, so starting out we have a propeller jig, so we can make sure that we get all of our propellers at the right angle, as you can see right there. Then we have our boarding ladder right here, pretty nice. Again, just a light sand and you should be good to go, and a little bit of cleanup, but it shouldn't be too bad on that. Get a few different ones of that so you can have it in the folded position as well. Right here, you just glue those two parts together, and there's your folded ladder right there. I think these are for our pylons right here. Our closed landing gear doors, again, typical 3D printing, or the filament 3D printing, we're definitely going to need to do some sanding. No detail on the inside of these. Right here, you get all those. Some of our racks right here. Not sure what these parts are for. here. Landing gear doors, obviously, but I'm not sure if these are supposed to be the open ones. Do we need to cut them open or what? But there's still no detail on the inside of those either. Alright, now we have our propeller hubs right here. Again, very nice on those. They'll fit right into the jig, and then you just prop your propellers in there and you should be good to go on that. And those do look very nice on the shape. Alright, going on, we have the door for our rear cabin for our entry. So again, printed as a separate piece. No detail on the inside of it though. Then we have our front instrument panel right here. Again, it's a nice starting point if you want to go and add all the switches and everything to it, and also in the instructions it has some of the parts about the MFDs and all that on there. Then we have a, not sure what component this is for right here, maybe up in the cockpit area. Then we have some racks included for the back side. Then we have some seats right here. Again, pretty nice actually for the seats. Definitely just gonna need to add in some seat belts to that and you will be good to go on those seats. Have a couple different variants of seats right there, as you can see. Alright, now we have a little table right here. Just gonna go through all the little detail pieces going on through here. A lot of little detail pieces going on. Got the handrail for our ladder right here. We have a control stick right here. Again, pretty nicely done on this. These look really clean actually. Okay, now we have our nose landing gear half right here. Get two of these that go in like so, I believe. We'll have to see how it looks, or I think they go in together like this. Not sure, we'll have to see how that looks. Like it should go like that, but I don't know what's going on with this framing right here. Then our aft landing gear well right here, again very nice on the detail on that. Just with the 3D print lines, it kind of ruins it a little bit, but this area might be a little bit difficult to get into the sand. Then we have some of our landing gear doors. Again, these actually have detail on the inside, a little bit of detail, not much, but we're also going to need to sand all that. We also have the connection points for our brass rods that we're going to be using for this connection points as well. The Bombay door actuator right here. Alright, so up next we have the pylons for our wings, and the pylons for our wings actually do look very nice indeed. So again, some nice detail. The print lines aren't very bad on this one as well either. So again, we get a lot of these pylons to attach to the underside of the aircraft. Alright, so now we have some of the parts for our ordnance right here. This is the tail end of our AGM-84 Harpoon missile. Tail and front end right here. They look okay, but I do have the Edwards set for this that I will be using for that, and I also do have the metallic details Mark 46 torpedo on this, and I mean they do look alright. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of cleanup to get those for the connection point on them, but they do look okay for straight out of the box. Alright, so now we have some more of these are our wingtips right here with the some nice detail on that. Underside we do have the connection points for all of our pylons on there. Getting those, all that, and then we have our for horizontal stabilizers right here. Again, going to take a little bit of cleanup, but it's going to be very nice. And the parts are not very heavy at all, which is going to help save some weight on this very large kit. And then we have, I think this is for our tail right here. Again, just a little bit of, it's going to take some cleanup, but it is doable. And then on this one, the panel lines do seem a little bit shallow, so might have to rescribe on that one. Alright, so now we do have our wheels. It looks like these are actually printed by the resin vat printer, Just the way that you have the supports and everything right here. But again, pretty nice. Just gonna need to restripe some stuff, and I'll also do a light sand on the wheels, but the wheels actually do look very nice for this kit. We get 2 sets of wheels for that. Alright, now we have our main landing gear pieces. Again, very nice detail on these. Add a little bit of cable wire and everything on that. That's going to look absolutely amazing. Along with these right here. So definitely, because these are different than what we had earlier in the kit. Because we did have some of these earlier in the kit as well. So just adding in all these pieces right here. Again, very nice. Okay, up next we do have our propeller blades right here. Again, pretty nice shape, just a little bit of cleanup on those. And then we have our clear parts. Now our clear parts, again, those are pretty rough, if I'm being honest. Definitely going to take some sanding and then also some polishing up, trying to get those clear enough so you can actually see through them. So there's that issue right there, but I mean, they are a nice shape, they are a complex shape on that, so definitely going to take some sanding and buffing and polishing to get those up to be nice and clear so you can see through them, so you can see that interior that you did. Alright, so now we have our last bag of parts, and first off, starting with the nose section right here. It's the same thing with the detail for the rest of the kit with the 3D print lines. Come to expect it. Just going to take a little bit of work to get it done. We do have some nice panel lines on there, but again, when you're sanding it, you're probably going to need to clean it up because this one does seem a little bit rough right here. And we're also going to need to cut out our front nose section right here, but it is very lightly. I don't know if you can see. You can actually see through it right there. So it's just clipping those pieces off right here. Then on the inside we do have a little bit of detail here. We are going to need to clean up the inside of that as well. But again, a good starting point. And also you're not going to really be able to see much inside the clear parts right here. So the other thing is I didn't see clear parts for the front window, so we're definitely going to need to make our own clear parts for this kit right here. Alright, now working on the back galley section right here. I believe that goes right like so, possibly. And I mean, that is a perfect fit into this back section right there. As you can see, it fits perfectly for that. So again, nicely done with that. And we're also going to need to do, again, some cleanup, but no big deal. Then the front aft galley section, again, pretty nice on the detail on that. Our nose section right here, same as all before. We're gonna be adding some detail in there anyways when we do it, and I believe it goes like, nope, like so. So I mean, it's a good shape to it. Just a little bit of cleanup, and this is gonna look really good when it's all done. Actually, that shape kind of looks a little bit off. Definitely not like that. I will have to do some testing with it when we build it. Alright, so now we're moving on to our interior detail parts. We have sensor 1 and 2 stations right here. The AW acoustic guys going on right here, where they listen to all the acoustic sonobuoys and listening for blade rates and everything that's going on under the water. And then we have our, looks like our TACO station right here. Tactical coordinator, he helps lay out all of the sonobuoy patterns and also the flight plans and all that going on for the tactical operations right there. Some nice detail on there. Actually, really nice detail. Again, just a little bit of cleanup and you will be good to go. And also, you're really not going to be able to see much of this anyways unless you open up that top portion of the fuselage. Then we have the back where we have our sonobuoy rack right here. All the different sonobuoys are in there, so that's going to look really nice when it's all painted up. You will be able to see this from inside the aft cabin door if you're going to have that open right there. Then we have some overhead detail right here. This looks like this is the sensor 3 operators area right here. Gonna need to add in a little bit more detail, like the joystick for controlling the FLIR pod and a few other parts. And actually this kit doesn't have a FLIR pod, so I'm gonna update this one to be a update 3 P-3C right there. Then we have another locker wall right here. We have some more circuit breaker cabinets right there. Another overhead piece. This is our head back here. You can do all the detail you want on it, but you're not going to be able to see it unless you open up the door and somehow can see around corners. We also have the bench for our galley right there, I believe. Then we have our bomb bay. Bomb bay does look pretty nice. Again, with the 3D print lines and a little bit of cleanup, but you're also going to have, and if you're like me, I'm going to have the torpedo racks and everything in there, and also torpedoes. I do have the metallic details 148 Mark 46 torpedoes for this kit as well. Then we have some more circuit breaker lockers right here. Then we have another compartment. This might be the Navcom section, or it might be the okay, yeah, this is the sensor 3 operator section. So again, gonna need to add in a few more little details on here just to really spruce it up, but it should be pretty easy to do on that. We have another locker right here, a couple more lockers going on. We have another locker right here. More lockers. And finally we do get this one test piece right here to, I guess, test out your sanding, scribing, and all of that. Maybe even how to do glue if you need to. But again, that's what we get for that. And that is everything for the one-man model P-3C Orion. Now, if this was a normal manufacturer, yes, I would have crucified them about the quality of the kit, but the fact that this is a one-man model model company, I guess you could call it, who he does his own design work, the printing, everything, and this kit is a little bit older. It's I bought this at least 4 or 5 years ago, so I don't know if he's updated his printing capabilities as of yet, but we'll have to see. But for the most part, the kit looks like it's going to be very nicely detailed. It looks like it's going to be a good starting out point to really, if you want to, go super detailed on it. And with everything else, where else can you get a P3 in 1/48 scale, number one? Also, where else can you get a P3 with a full interior on it? Those don't come around. And also, if you want, you can get this with the full interior at 1/72, or you can also get it in 1/32 scale as well. So that's kind of where I'm standing with it. It does look like it's going to be a lot of fun to build, because it looks like it's going to require a lot of modeling skill. It's not like a Tamiya kit or a Wingnut Wings kit or any of those that just basically fall together. This one is going to take sanding, putty, test fits, and all that to really get this to look good when it's all said and done. And when it's all said and done, it is really going to look good. Also, one thing I forgot to do in the review is this little piece of paper right here. We do have some vinyl masks and everything going on. For that, I think with these, I'm going to use those as paint masks right there. And then going on, these are actual stickers and not decals, so I'm definitely looking at possibly, if I get a Cricut cutter, by the time I build this, I'm definitely going to be masking all this stuff off. But you can see all the mask right here on all of that. So again, just a lot is included in this kit. So make sure you do not throw away any newspaper that you think is just empty newspaper, because it probably contains stuff like all your paint masks and such. But anyways, back to the kit. Yeah, so yes, it's going to take a lot of work. And it might be a fit nightmare, it might not. Don't know yet. From what I can see, the parts that I did do the quick test fit on, they did fit really well. But getting the fuselage halves together, that might cause some issues. But other than that, that's all I really have to say about the kit. I'll leave the link to his website down in the description, so you can go see what else he has for sale there. But yeah, that's all I got. So I hope you guys enjoyed this inbox review. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button for future notifications and of when I post new content. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay frosty and happy modeling.